Okay, it's barely 6 a.m. and I really wanted to record this video. I meant to record this yesterday, but here. So the main point of this video is just a reminder that some people in this world will do everything that they can inside their brain to rearrange and to reorder the memory of events that happened. And now I don't mind a painful truth. I don't mind having to reconcile a painful truth. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about my memory, but I know for a fact other people, and it's funny because this happened yesterday, this whole situation, and it's funny because I was also researching about this exact thing like hours before, and then I got the confirmation like, oh, that's what what is happening. So basically there was this person that I was mutuals with on TikTok, and I was really fond of her, but I also did notice a few things within her personality that I thought was a little bit off. Also, why the heck is this guy messaging me on Jacked? I don't give a frick about your hookup. Get away from me. First thing he said to me was, want a link? I don't even know your name. I don't even know how you look, bro. What the heck? Anyways, back when we were mutuals, we were talking, and we talked about collabing because that's something that I want to do. But time and time again, I find myself wanting to collab with people who turn out to be less than stellar. And I'm not saying anything about her. I'm not saying this isn't about her necessarily. So if you happen to be watching me, like, nothing but love for you, okay? Alright, I'm just using you as an example. But anyways, I was in one of my other mutuals live streams, and I guess she was aware that we used to be mutuals. I don't know. And in the chat, she was like explaining herself. She was explaining her side of the situation, and it felt a little forced because she just kept going on and kept explaining. And I was like, okay, I don't really care. Like, it's in the past. It is what it is. Because from my perspective, this person had blocked me out of the blue. And from my perspective, the way that I look back on it in hindsight is that maybe she was uncomfortable by something I said in a reading, because she'd gotten readings from me. And I remember specifically the lust card came out, and she was very like, whoa, why is that card coming out? And I'm like, girl, like, hindsight looking back, I'm like, girl, why is you so dramatic? Everybody experiences, what is you being so dramatic? And it was like several times when I had done a reading for her and it had come out like that. And obviously I wasn't, or at least I would hope that I wasn't spinning it in a judgmental perspective. Like, I wasn't saying anything judgmental. I was just telling the energy as it came out and explaining the message. You know what I mean? Because that's what I fucking do. And from my perspective, the way that I look at the situation, it seemed like she was really triggered by something I said. Like, she really did not want to reconcile with something that I said. And so eventually she blocked me, and there was no explanation, there was no warning, it just happened. And the funny thing is, I was also thinking about blocking her because of some of the weird behaviors that I noticed. And I was in the other mutuals live yesterday, and we were just chatting, and then she joined, and so it was just me and the person that I used to be mutuals with, and then my current mutual. And once again, she kept explaining, she kept apologizing, and I was just like, okay, whatever, I'm just here for I don't really care. It's like, it's in the past, I've reconciled it. And then she said something that really confirmed that she was very delusional. She basically said, and I think, once again, it was her attempt of like reconciling the story and like getting her story out or getting her side out, but she basically said that, because I had already explained, I was, it's no hard feelings. I was just kind of a little bit confused, but it's really whatever. And then she started explaining in the chat of like, I was really confused. I just saw he unfollowed me one day, and I was just like, okay. And I was like, what? Because from my perspective, she randomly blocked me. Like, and people unfollow me all the time. I don't care. I don't go out of my way to look at who's unfollowed me. So, you know what I mean? So I didn't notice at first, but I did notice because I was like, this is a mutual that I like, that I appreciate. So I looked at her page, and it was like, oh, you don't have access to this page, bitch. She blocked you, bitch. And so I was like, oh, Okay. And so once again, I had to assume that it was because maybe I made her uncomfortable, or maybe I said something that she didn't like, or whatever. Because in the chat yesterday, she was talking about boundaries and like walking away from toxic people or like messy people. And the entire time that she was explaining herself, in my head, I'm just like, okay, but like you blocked me out of nowhere, seeming like, so I don't understand what's going on in this conversation. Because once again, at some point she started apologizing profusely and unnecessarily, in my opinion. She just kept apologizing and telling me that she had nothing but love for me, that she was happy for me, and all this stuff. And maybe she does feel that way. I don't mean to say that every time somebody inserts a specific narrative, it means that they're lying. I don't want to say that, but excuse me, a lot of times when you insert a certain narrative, it does seem like you're forcing that narrative, like you're trying to lie. Like, if you're telling somebody serious news and nobody is thinking that you're joking in any way, and then you suddenly blurt out, I'm not joking, by the way, guys, I'm not joking. Okay, now I'm a little suspicious. Now I don't know if you're joking or not. Like, and the moral of this video is the reminder that a lot of people in this world will twist the memory so that they can feel better about themselves, and genuinely in their head they'll believe whatever narrative they came up with, you know. And you really got to watch out for people like that. Like, I'm not saying you can't be friends with them, I'm not saying you can't, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful, because they will twist the story into a way where it looks like you're the bad guy, and now they have to attack you because you're the bad guy. But it's like, that never even fucking happened. You're crazy. You're delusional. There was this other guy, if I could talk about this situation for a little bit. I don't know, I haven't talked to him in a long while, but we were talking on and off. We had a relatively close relationship on over social media, not social media, but like it was long distance. And at some point I ended up blocking him, and then I unblocked him after a while, and then I blocked him again, because he just consistently has this attitude of like, fuck you, I hate you, I don't like you, even though we're friends, I don't like you, and I'm gonna treat you like shit. And he has that energy, he has that attitude. And so I blocked. And then on top of that, there was also money involved. There was money being exchanged, and then he was also having an attitude about that. And one thing I don't like to play about is money. Like, I don't like to play with people who play with money. You know what I mean? I don't. I can and I will, but I don't like to. And so I blocked him, because it's like, now you're playing with my money. Now you're messing with my money, and I don't like that. So, adios, bye. And I don't think about that situation often. I don't think about that person very often. But now that I'm thinking about it, I have to imagine, I have to wonder what kind of story he's telling himself about what happened. You know, because from my perspective, it's very clear why the fuck I walked away, because he was a nasty attitude. You know what I mean? But from his perspective, I'm like, what would he say? Would he say that I'm a gold digger? What would he say to make himself feel better? You know? You really got to watch out, because some people are not right in the head. They can't handle truth, and they'll make you suffer for it. So just be safe, be smart, be wise.